Alright, it's been a while. We are back for a game and trying to find a 5-minute game on chess.com. We are trying to increase our blitz rating. And I don't even have a blank board right now. That might be a problem. Ooh, that's weird. Okay, we have a board now. Wow, that was weird, wasn't it? Okay, let's see what he does if we play e6 to something. I said, let's see what he does if we play e6 to something. There we go. Alright, we've got it going now. We're going to have an exchange variation French. We will copycat him for a moment here. I like to play the knight e7 variation. And here, this wastes us a little bit of time, but in blitz it should be alright. I like to blunt the power of the d3 bishop. Here I will block with the pawn, makes our king side a little loose, but the ensuing exchanges should make for everything to be okay. Alright, now here of course I've got a little bit of a problem. I can either back off with my bishop or I can exchange. I believe because he has moved his bishop back here, I will exchange. And then move over here. And now we will exchange that as well. And which way do we want to... First of all, we will buttress our position here with c6. Develop our knight. Now, black still has to be a little careful here because the king side is not exactly totally secure. So he has to do sometimes this kind of setup in order to make sure that white can't get anything going. White loves in the exchange variation to get something going on the king side because he has otherwise played a very drawishy looking opening. By the way, back here, if he exchanges with a knight, I'll actually take back with the rook pawn. A little bit better than taking back up with the knight. You might think for pawn structure purposes it would be better to take back with the knight, but actually the pawn on g6 is superior in influence and space, mobility, and so forth. I don't know about mobility, but it's just a little bit better than having a pawn on h7. So right now he is considering what he wants to do with that. Looks like we're going to go into an endgame. Alright, this fella is rated about the same as me. I'm black, so I'm not depressed about it, but at the same time, it looks very drawish. I can't let him have control of the E file, so I will not let him have control of it. He wants to exchange, and he'll probably now exchange here. He did, which I said before is perfectly fine with me. And now we're going to get into this little thing where we advance. Ooh, do I want to push again? Maybe not. But if I don't, where am I going to reposition my knight that's going to be any better than it is now? Well, let's try to get some play on his queen side here. Fella, there's nothing to do up in there. Okay. Not sure what he intended by the king e3. Now our knight is much better posted on d6. I'm threatening, of course, knight c4, and he's not going to allow that. However, if I go here, notice I'm hitting on the weak point of c3. And he's got a little bit of a problem. He can't defend it immediately with the knight. If he defends it with the king, then I take on f2. Therefore, what he did before was perhaps a mistake. And he just pushes it. Okay, so if you push that... Alright, looks to me like I should go here. Ooh. Okay, gotta go for it. So he dropped a pawn. now we have to try to capitalize on the fact that he's dropped a pawn. Observe that he cannot go right here. He would like to c5 because my knight protects the square. Okay. All right. As long as I don't get too low on time, I should be okay here. What do we want out of this? I don't see much advantage on limbering up his position or anything. I think I'll just push. Okay. Now here, can I go back here? If I do, then king down to e2. Knight would go back here and attack. King might go down to d2. Yeah, it's okay. Was wondering if he could trap my knight. If he can't, then all variations are okay. I should be activating this side here, though. I don't know why I'm not playing a5 instead of goofing around with my knight. All right, got to move quickly. Got to move quickly. Oh, fellow. I don't think you can do that. Check. Here. Uh-huh. Okay. This challenge is not. Oh, and he has to exchange. All right. Game's easy now. Whew. All right. So we still have plenty of time. Looks like we're going to advance a little bit further, folks, because somebody took too many chances in the end game, or made a little tactical mistake over here on the queen side. We'll examine that in just a moment. I think the appropriate course here is you just push. He's going to have to take the pawn, and when he does, I get his c-pawn. Easiest way. And now I've got this monster passer here. He cannot ignore it. Yeah. So when he goes down and takes that, I take his pawns. There you go. Thanks for game. And I don't think I have to go into any detailed analysis here, so let's just do a wee tad of review. Everything is developing normal for an exchange French. He can gain time here. I don't know why he wouldn't have earlier taken. You take with the bishop and then you check. Get your rook out for free, basically, because the only thing I have is just to bring my knight right back. Sometimes, though, there's a psychological effect here. White does not want to give up this attacking bishop. So even if he gains tempo, he just can't stand the idea of giving up that attacking bishop. And that's sad, because you gain a tempo here. And in blitz, that may not be so important to have that tempo, but I would do it if I were white. Anyway, the game progresses along and we just have wholesale exchanges. There's nothing really all that interesting in this, other than me behaving pretty defensively over here, because I've learned over time that if white, or if black behaves loosely with this, then white can generate an attack even though a lot of pieces have been exchanged. Here he plays into my hands. Like I said before, I want him to take on g6. He does take on g6, and now my king side is in better shape. And we progress here, and then he's got a little problem. I decide to reposition my knight after I thought for a moment, and when I reposition this knight, he brings his knight back to e1. I mean, I know he's wanting to go here with it, but I'm a little quicker than him. So after I do this, he can still bring his knight up. Yeah, because when he brings his knight up, it protects the b pawn. So he doesn't really have to worry about checks and all that. I mean, he's not making any progress, but neither am I. So he just brings his knight up, and all is good and fine. Well, he doesn't do that. Instead, he protects the square. But every time you advance a pawn, you're opening up a weakness in that pawn chain. So I immediately attack it, and he did not see the nature of the position here. It's not so much a tactic as it is just a blunder on his part, because the f pawn is weak and the c pawn is under attack, so he has to advance it. And when he advances it, then he runs into a further problem, because every time you advance, like I said, weakness in the pawn chain. Now his a pawn's under attack, and after I attack it, if he advances, now this is another one. He probably needs to, exchange there. It gives him a weakness in his pawn structure, but it's better than the continuation in the game. So back here, he had to exchange. I know I get to take back with check, but that's, like I said, better than what happened. And a weakness in the pawn structure should not in and of itself cause him to lose here. But he didn't do that, and the rest, therefore, becomes history. Alright, so we go back to the course of the game, I guess. Alright, anyway, we'll stop right there at that point. No reason really to analyze any of the further stuff after I did advanced in here with my knight. And the rest of the endgame just developed according to me having an extra pawn, and then he messed up again over here on the king side, but it was already getting rough for him. And thank you very much for watching. Man, we just keep on track. Look at this, 1850. I got 50 points, and we've played okay, but how far can we go with this simple French and bird stuff? Tune in to find out. Click on subscribe, and I would appreciate it very much. Thank you.